going to show you how to complete this in-class activity assignment 5B about DOMO and R integration. First thing first, I need you to open your R and R Studio by going to your R, click it, and in this case I already have it open, and you'll see in this part it's called console. This is where you can type your R code. For example, you can do 1 + 1 and then enter. You'll have 1 + 1, and the next thing I want you to do is to create a project. And how you create a project is by going to this side by going to this part right here. Here on your part will say project none, but in this case I already have it. I have a project name. I'm going to click that part and then click new project. Will bring up a new window here. I want you to create new directory because we're going to build a new folder or a new directory, new project. Name it R project business management 410, right? And then here we'll ask you where do you want to put this folder. I want you to hit browse and then put it inside of your desktop and click open. After that, create project. It will create a new project on your computer, and here yours will change as well to be our project business 410. And you can access your project by going to your desktop because that's where we put our stuff in. There is a new folder created because we just created that directory. If you go inside that folder, you'll see your project here. Right, I'm going to close it. The next thing I want you to do is to go to your canvas and then download this folder, download this file. This is called DOMO R SDKs template RMD. RMD stands for R Markdown. I'm going to click that. Click it again, and then it will ask me where to download. I'm going to put it inside of my desktop, inside of that new folder that I just created, our project business management 410. Click save, and then if you go back to your folder inside this R project, you'll see there's a new file called DOMO R. This is the one that we just downloaded. Now if you go back to your R, this is your R, right? You can also change the background by going to tools, global options, appearance, and change it to whatever you like. Me, I like it to be bright like that, or to be black but bright. Apply, okay, and then now it become black. It's easy on my eyes. I can also adjust the size of these windows by doing that if I want more space. And here, if you notice, this is the new file under this file section. If you cannot see this file, it's either this file is not inside the R project business management 410, or you haven't refreshed this. So you can hit this refresh, and then it should be here, right? Now what I want you to do to click this part, to click this new file, click it. It will open a new window on the left. You'll see all this text and also R codes. And if you notice at the top, it also asks you packages, dev tools, and tidyverse required but are not installed. Install or don't show again. So what it's asking you is that, hey, I find that you're going to do library on dev tools and you're going to do library on tidyverse, but I don't have the package on my file. Do you want to install? Then of course you will say install. Right, it will run the installation. Another way to do it is to actually manually install it by highlight this one if you want, and then click Command Enter if you're on Mac, or Control Enter if you're on Windows. So here at the bottom, it's installing, it's downloading all those complex packages inside your computer, downloading it one by one. You know when it's done when this green bar reaches to the end right here, so it means that it's done. But for now, just wait patiently. Probably take a couple of seconds to do that. Most packages will not take this long, but this one, because it's development tools, it's for development, that's why it takes long, because it's big. if you encounter an error, you may want to copy the error and then paste it to your browser and then see if people have the same problem. Another way is to reach out to me, then we can set up a time for me to help you to troubleshoot the problem, because every computer might be different depending on the make and the configuration inside, and R is a complex program and we need to figure it out right now. But after you figure out all these things, when you're setting up R right now, that should be good. For after this should be easy to do. You don't have to go through this installing, all this waiting. Now there is no more green bar, and also I noticed that there is this new sign that shows up here. It means that it's done. I can, instead of clicking the install button at the top right here at the beginning, I can also do manual install packages using DevTools. I can do that, but it will ask me updating loaded packages. Hey, it's basically telling you already installed the DevTools. Do you want to reinstall it? In this case, I don't want to install it because I already have it, so I'm going to cancel. I'm going to delete this part because I already installed it. You only need to install a package once for every package. So I'm done. I'm going to delete that. Now I need to attach the package, the one that I just downloaded, by doing this library DevTools. I'm going to run this line, and it's done. Now the next thing I want is to download a repository package for DOMO from GitHub. I'm going to run this line. It will take some time as well. After it's done, now you can tell it's done because there is this new sign here. And what you need to do, I forgot to put it here, but you want to delete that and then do library, or maybe not delete it, let's do, because you may need it in the future, so I want you to comment it out, right, in case you need it in the future. But now I want to run library and RDOMO, run that. So I'm attaching the RDOMO package, and next thing I want this tidyverse. I think I also already installed it, but it's not a problem really doing it. I'm going to comment this out as well, and then attach the library for the tidyverse, and I'm done here. I'm going to make it small. Now the next part is to do DOMO authentication. I want you to go to this website. This is actually a DOMO website for you, so I'm going to show you. If I go to this part, it will get me to this new page. This is a development page for developer. I want you to click login. When you click login, it will ask you what is your domain. In this case, my domain is Christian-Kusuma-LearnDomo. That's all. So if it's yours, if it's your domain, will be your first name, last name, and LearnDomo. Your DOMO. I will continue. It will ask me to log in. Now I'm gonna input my my credentials to log in, sign in, and it will take me to the same page. But now instead of login, you'll have my account. What you need to do is to click new client. It will ask you for this. So I'm gonna put a new client as, let me see, name it Kevin Kusuma 3, only 2. I do account. I'm going to check all these boxes because I'm an admin. I'm gonna create. When I hit that create, DOMO will give me a couple of things here, a couple of important informations. One will be your my client ID, and second will be my secret. And these are the things that you will need in order to authenticate your R against DOMO. So I'm going to copy this client ID and going back to my R. Here I'm going to go to my line 28 and then replace this enter your client ID. I'm going to replace it with the client ID. Is that client ID? Sorry. It's actually, yeah, that's the client ID. And then I'm going to copy the secret to the second part, the secret. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this line. And then it will create a new variable called my DOMO. This contains the client ID and secret. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to check that connection by running this line. This one has this function called user list, which is going to give me the list of users on my DOMO. And after that, I'm going to pull data from DOMO. So again, the purpose of this assignment is to show you how you can pull data from DOMO directly to R, so that you don't have to download the data from DOMO as a Excel file or CSV file and then attach it here. So we want to do this automatically, right? So what you need to do, you need to identify what data set you want to pull. So I'm going to my data, going to this data set. I'm going to take my revenue data. Here's revenue data business for 10, and I can take a look at the data, how it looks like. I have date, region, state, product name, revenue, and cost. Okay, this is the one that I want. It has 500 rows, and the next thing I want to do is to get the specific ID for this data set. So every data set has its own ID. So here the ID is located in the address bar on its own link. So I'm going to get this alphanumeric ID, which is between the data source and between the details. I don't need the slashes, I just need the alphanumeric ID. I'm going to copy that and then put it inside this alphanumeric ID in line 38. And here you see I'm using my DOMO function, my DOMO variable, to call the function of dsGet, which is dataset get from DOMO, and I'm saving it inside this my dataset, right? I'm going to hit Command and Enter because I'm on Mac. If you're on Windows, Control and Enter, and then it will run. It will tell you what the outcome is. And if you notice on the right side on my global environment, you see that now there is a new variable called my dataset. And if I click this, it will show me what's inside that my dataset, which is date, region, state, product name, revenue, cost, which is the same as this dataset here on DOMO. So I just showed you how to pull data from DOMO directly from R using the client ID and secret, and also the dataset ID, which is this alphanumeric ID. And after that, what I want to do is to, let me close this part, this is not important anymore. I want to create a simple linear regression model. Here what I want to do is to run a linear regression model. Here I'm going to save it into this variable called LM model, and the function to do linear regression is to LM. And here inside the LM, we're going to talk about this in the next class, but right now just run this. This is going to run a linear model. Now you have a new variable called LM model, which contains the linear regression model. I'm going to fit it against my data set. Now I have the prediction. I'm going to create a new data set or data frame. And right now, if I click my prediction, this one, the predicted data set, you'll see that now I have a new column called prediction, which contains the prediction from the result of my linear regression. I'm going to go back to my R markdown, and after I'm done, right, this is my result. This is the result of my linear regression model. What I want to do is to push this data back to DOMO. So I'm going to call the myDOMO again, and then use the function inside myDOMO, something called ds create. ds stands for dataset, create is creating a new dataset. Going to run this line, and what's going to happen is going to create a new dataset for me. So I'm going to run it, but I already ran it, but I'm going to show you anyway. When I'm going to run it, it will take some time to run. After it runs, it will spit out this new alphanumeric ID. This is the ID of the new dataset that you just created. So I want you to place it here. Why I want you to place it here is that this is a new command called ds update. What it will do is that this ds update will update the data set that you just created every time you run this. And I want to comment this out as well, because if I don't comment this out, if I rerun this line, it will create a new data set with the same name as this one, predicted revenue data. So if I run it another time, it will create another data set called predicted revenue data, but these three data sets will be all different data sets with the same name, with the same identical data. We don't want that, right? We just want one. That's why I comment this out so that it doesn't run. But if I want to update the existing data set called predicted revenue data, the one that I just created, I can run this line using this ds update. It will update it. So now let's go back to my DOMO. Let's check it out. I have two predicted revenue data because I already created earlier before this tutorial. So I have two. So if I run this line again without commenting it out, it will create another predicted revenue. But I don't want it, so I'm going to delete it. Continue. I don't want to have multiple like that. Then now I only have one. You can click it, then you see that you have basically the same columns except for the prediction. This is the one that comes from R. Now what I want you to do is to create a card using this data set. I want you to create the prediction against the revenue. Or let's check in the assignments what it says. I'm pretty sure that it says that. Yeah, actual revenue and prediction. So I'm going to create that. How I create a card, I'm going to open with analyzer. This is a different way of creating a new card. I'm going to go to scatter plot, which is in data science. Scatter. Since scatter plot is scatter, remove that. I'm going to take the revenue, put it on the x-axis, and then put the prediction in the y-axis. Be the opposite. Let's do prediction here, do revenue on the x-axis. There you go. And then remove the summary number, and then save it. Close and save and close. And I have two of this, right, because I already created earlier, but for you, you probably only have one. And see that the new card, because you didn't put it on a specific dashboard, it will go to your overview. After you created this card, the next thing I want you to do is to take a screenshot of this card and then submit it to DOMO, not to DOMO, to Canvas. And another thing that you need to submit is an HTML file of your R Markdown, and you can extract your HTML file from your R Markdown by going to your R Markdown, and then there is this knit button here, and then click this knit to HTML. But before you do that, it will be good if you can comment out the view line 32. On your R Markdown might be a different line, but here I want you to comment out the user list view, to comment out this view data set as well. You don't need those. And after you're done, you may also want to comment out this part right here. Just comment this out by placing the command sign, the pound sign at the beginning. And after you're done, you can click that small arrow next to knit, and then knit to HTML, and you click it. It will render it really quickly. It will automatically open it into a new browser or a new window. It will have the DOMO SDKs. Here should be your name. Here I didn't put my name, I forgot, but I can actually close this. And then here there's this is the new HTML file inside this folder. You can also file that new file. You can find that new file in your R project business management 410 folder. I'm going to delete that, and then I'm going to go back to my R markdown. I'm going to change the author name to be my name. I'm going to do Kevin Kusuma, and then the current date. What is the current date? I'm going to do, for example, if today's is 9:30, then I'm going to do that, and I'm going to save it, and I'm going to knit it. Knit to HTML. Run it really quickly. Now you'll see that the DOMO R SDKs is the title. DOMO R SDKs. You'll see that now it has my name, Kevin Kusuma, because I put the author name, and the date of today. And these are basically the R markdown on HTML file. When you're done, I can just close this, and you can find the new HTML file inside your file, or you can also find it inside your folder right here. And what you need to do, you need to, again, just a reminder, you need to submit two things. You need to submit the HTML file, which is the one that I just created with you, and the other one is the screenshot of your DOMO card, something like this. Okay, I think that's it for today. If you have any problem, please reach out to me. I understand that for some computers R might be a bit weird. It's just different computer make, and different version of it have some things that we need to figure out at the beginning, but after we sort all those things out, in the next classes we can do R really smoothly. Okay, please let me know if you have any questions, and hope you have a good day.